How is that, James?
Yeah. This morning, Mesa firefighters are taking part in a mass biological and chemical drill.
Yeah, the drill is being staged at Banner Desert Hospital, and that is where we find Courtney Griffin this morning checking things out. Hi, Courtney.
Hi, good morning. Yeah, so you're right. It's a mass biological chemical exposure drill. So what that means basically is if anybody is exposed to some type of dangerous chemical, rather than getting rushed to the hospital and possibly affecting the entire hospital and having the hospital closed down, we have our firefighters and our ER members that are going to be trained to just kind of go around that one person and help them and not affect the rest of the hospital, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about, we have different stages set up. What are you guys learning today, going over today?
Well, what we're doing today, again, like you mentioned, we're training on mass decontamination. And so if there was an exposure in a workplace due to an accident, due to an act of terrorism, any type of event like that where people could be exposed, we want to try to get them cleaned off and before they make entry into the emergency room.
Okay, and that's a big deal. So they first, you said you could set this up either where the emergency is actually taking place or outside the closest hospital.
Right, we're probably going to set this up at the location of the incident and then also here at the hospital, because we know that a lot of our patients are going to scramble and they may arrive at the ER before we can actually decontaminate them at the scene.
Okay, and it takes you how long to set up?
This takes about 20 minutes to set up, so it takes a real coordinated effort from us and our regional partners to set this thing up in a real timely fashion.
Okay, so kind of walk us through the stages. So this is stage one, where it's pretty much the most important to get all that gunk off them, right?
Yeah, this is called gross decon, and what we want to do is get the big heavy particles off of them, get them cleaned up as fast as we can, and then we're going to bring them into the tent here, and once we get here, they're going to be stripped down. So we have tents here. We'll have actually two up for male and for females, for control their for privacy, and we're going to bring them through here. We have this conveyor belt here, and this is set up for those that are not ambulatory, so we can put them on there, the backboard, and we can roll them through.
Wow, so they literally get rolled through.
Well, some can walk through, some roll through. It depends on their condition.
Okay.
So,
and how long does this take?
This is just a matter of minutes. So we're going to come through here. We're going to clean them. We're going to soap them down, scrub them. We're going to rinse them.
We lost our camera guy, unfortunately, but it's pretty cool. We have these little cords in here, so you would spray them. Ah, there he is. So these, you spray the patient with.
Yes, this is the rinse right here. So we have a clean, we have a rinse, and then as we come out this direction, we're going to put them in the gowns, and at that point, they'd be ready to go into the emergency room.
Okay, and then they're safe to go in the hospital.
They're safe to go into the hospital.
Wow.
And so there's a lot involved with this. We want to collect their personal belongings, wallets, purses, keys, bag them, and then we're going to check for those and make sure that they're not contaminated. If they're contaminated, we're going to decontaminate those also. So we have a whole system for making sure that we don't lose any of that.
Really interesting. I know you guys are obviously protected, but can you give us an example of what kind of chemical that we would see here in the valley?
Well, you know what, it could be anything. It could be just mischievous behavior like pepper spray. It could be a derailment of, say, a pesticide, a semi or a rail car carrying pesticides.
Yeah, any kind of major spill, too.
Exactly. And then, of course, you know, we don't like to think about this, but any type of act of terrorism, we need to be prepared for that also.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you so much for walking us through that and explaining that. It's really interesting. So they do training every Monday. It's really good to know that they're up to date on all of this, because we don't really like to think if anything like that does happen. But if it does, these guys are prepared. There they go through the tent.
So happy to know that.
Yes.
Okay. Courtney, thanks.
Hey,
the winter hike.
Live from Fox Studios, Fox 10 News is back.
Stopping contamination before it spreads. That is the drill that many HazMat crews from all over the East Valley got to practice today. Fox 10's Courtney Griffin has more.
East Valley Fire Departments and Banner Desert Hospital are working together today, holding a mass biological and chemical exposure drill, meaning if a patient needs to be decontaminated prior to going in the hospital, firefighters are trained to do that.
It's extremely important for these stations to be around so the hospitals don't get affected, because you know, if one person goes into the hospital contaminated, that could mean a contamination for the entire hospital, you know, in which case that affects patients throughout the entire area and the entire valley.
Firefighters went step by step through the different stages.
This is called gross decon, and what we want to do is get the big heavy particles off of them.
Then it's off to the tent where patients strip down and prepare to get sprayed.
We're going to clean them, we're going to soap them down, scrub them, we're going to rinse them.
After that, they're admitted to the hospital. Giovanni Mustaka enjoys these drills. It helps him prepare for what could be a real-life situation.
It's really important for all the HazMat techs to be on the same page and to know their jobs, you know, from the very first step to the very end.
The chemicals could be anything from pesticides to potential terrorist attacks. Courtney Griffin, Fox 10 News.
Now, the East Valley Fire Departments have different training drills every Monday.
A Vietnam